The new K-1 brings Pentax back into the full-frame spotlight with a 36-megapixel sensor and lots of great features that are sure to please not only existing Pentax shooters, but new ones as well. Users familiar with Pentax will find the interface extremely similar to previous models. They'll also enjoy the ability to utilize most of their old K-mount lenses. The camera is not only pleasing to the eye, but the ergonomics offer a very enjoyable shooting experience as well. Images can be easily composed on a viewfinder with a nearly 100% field of view. It looks as though Pentax really had landscape shooters in mind when they developed many of the features for this camera. The body is weather sealed with a total of 87 seals. It also boasts a dust-proof, weather-resistant, and cold-resistant construction. The K-1 has an in-body 5-axis image stabilization mechanism that allows for accurate control of the large full-frame sensor. It is also usable with all Pentax interchangeable lenses. One of the major upgrades that Pentax made with the K-1 is the addition of an upgraded version of the pixel shift technology that was originally found on the K3 II. The K-1 takes 4 shots, shifting its sensor by 1 pixel between each shot. This means it captures red, green, and blue information at every capture location. This results in an image with full color information for every output pixel. Additionally, because you're combining 4 shots, you will be improving the signal-to-noise ratio as well. With landscape shooters in mind, Pentax has added horizon correction and an astro tracer feature that utilizes in-camera GPS to track the stars. The K-1 also offers a unique external LED lighting system that makes shooting in low-light conditions a breeze. The K-1 is an excellent value, coming in at just under $1,800 or €2,000. With lots of new functions and innovative technology, Pentax is not only looking to impress current users, but also to attract new ones as well with its first full-frame DSLR. However, before jumping on the Pentax bandwagon, it's worth checking it to see whether or not the lenses that are currently available will meet your needs.
Pentax K-1 is a big deal, because it's Pentax's first full-frame camera. All the previous cameras are digital cameras, at least have been APS-C-sized, so we've been hearing about the K-1 for the last couple of years. It's finally out. We're going to take a look at it. It has a number of very interesting specs that we'll talk about. Obviously, the full-frame sensor is a 36-megapixel sensor, so high resolution. It has 5 axes in body image stabilization, and it's the only full-frame camera that actually has that currently. We'll touch on all those features. First though, let's take a look at the physical body, because they've done a lot of very good things in terms of the ergonomics of the camera. So the first thing we can see when looking at the body is that it is a very rugged body. It is fully weather sealed at the front. It's got the lens mount, which is a K-lens mount. The next thing that we notice is that there are a lot of buttons and dials on the body, and this is, I think, one of the best strengths of the ergonomics of this camera, is that almost every major control that you might want to access has a physical button somewhere on the body, and when you first look at it, it seems like they're kind of a lot all over the place, but they're really all very intelligently placed, easy to get it within. Just the first hour or so of shooting with the K-1 I was barely going into the menu. I was changing all my major settings, just with the physical buttons, which really goes a long way to letting you shoot faster, staying out of menus, just enjoy the shooting experience and not get bogged down with operating the camera. A really good implementation that they've done here is this dual control dials on the top right, so the dial on the bottom right here is just going to be controlling different settings. But the settings that it controls is going to be dependent on this other dial right here, so I can set it to control nothing if I want, but I can also have it be exposure compensation or ISO, or so on. Now, that means I don't have to go into the menus to change the function of this dial. I just quickly flip it on top to whatever I want with the one dial, and now that dial controls that feature for me, I found that to be a really quick way to quickly jump between different settings and so on without again getting bogged down in menus. So really good marks in terms of ergonomics for me from the K-1 body. Really good in that regard. One other little point about the physical body is just that articulating screen at the back. Pentax have implemented this interesting little eye. The K-1 has options galore. with the main mode dial offering 13 choices including 5 that are user configurable along with the usual POSM. A second function dial near the smallish LCD readout provides shortcuts to common chores. Turn it to ISO and by turning a nearby dial you can make adjustments quickly. You can do this for exposure compensation, single burst mode shooting, bracketing, HDR, adjusting the display grid, turning shake reduction on or off, changing the crop, and accessing Wi-Fi. Although there are duplicate buttons for some of these adjustments, it's a very handy feature.
The D500 is a resurrection of Nikon's semi-pro, top-end APS-C line. As the much-anticipated replacement of the D300S, it does not disappoint. The D500 features a 153-point autofocus system, 99 of which are cross-type. The autofocus points are linked to a 180,000 pixel metering sensor, providing class-leading subject tracking. With continuous shooting speeds of 10 frames per second and a 200-shot RAW buffer, the D500 is aimed at action photographers who don't mind the smaller APS-C sensor format and might even appreciate the extra reach. SnapBridge, a continuously connected Bluetooth wireless system, makes for simple image transfer to a smart device. Other features we love about the D500 include excellent dynamic range and high ISO image quality, a tilting 2.3 million dot touchscreen, and the addition of an autofocus fine-tune auto-adjustment system for calibrating lenses. The D500 can capture 4K ultra-high-definition video, but it has a crop factor of 2.25 times. Another thing to note is that there's no built-in flash. The Nikon D500 is aimed at enthusiast photographers, but its impressive autofocus coverage and tracking, low light performance, speed and accuracy mean that it should prove equally useful to many professionals. For more The D5 is Nikon's latest professional-grade camera. It's designed for the ultimate in speed and accuracy, which is essential in a camera intended for busy professional photographers. The D5 boasts an impressive 153-point autofocus system, 99 of which are cross-type. The autofocus points are linked to a 180,000 pixel metering sensor, which provides class-leading subject tracking. With the D5, you can shoot at 12 frames per second, so you can follow and capture the action easily. The speed increases to 14 frames per second with the mirror locked up. The other features we love about the D5 include its 20 megapixel full-frame sensor, the touchscreen, and the addition of an automated autofocus fine-tune system for calibrating lenses. The D5 can shoot 4K video, but it has a 1.5 times crop factor. It doesn't offer focus peaking to aid manual focus. The combination of unprecedented autofocus coverage and tracking, class-leading low-light performance, and new features make the D5 an industry-leading DSLR, especially for those professionals shooting fast-action sports.
The Canon EOS 5D Mark IV is an outstanding camera for photographers who demand high-quality still images, as well as filmmakers looking for pro-level video capture. It has a new 30.4 megapixel full-frame sensor, providing plenty of resolution for demanding situations, from professional portraits to wildlife photography. The updated 61-point autofocus system covers up to 24% more of the frame and includes face detection. 4K DCI video ensures that the camera meets the highest standards for video quality as well. The camera's raw dynamic range has been significantly improved over previous 5D models. We also like the new touchscreen, which adds useful features such as tap to focus. Canon's dual-pixel autofocus provides reliable face detection and subject tracking in live view, while delivering the most accurate and natural-looking autofocus we've seen when shooting video. While the 4K video quality is excellent, the 4K recording is limited to motion JPEG format, which requires large, fast memory cards and may limit recording time. Overall, the Canon 5D Mark IV is a DSLR that will meet the needs of pros and enthusiasts who require high-quality images, excellent video, and a great user interface.
Meet the D850, Nikon's new high-resolution, high-speed DSLR. It sports a 45.6 megapixel CMOS sensor and is the first Nikon full-frame camera to use backside illumination, which should lead to improved low-light performance. The camera also retains the D810's ISO 64 mode, which should mean good low ISO dynamic range as well. The 153-point AF system comes directly from the flagship Nikon D5, as does the high-resolution metering sensor and dedicated AF processor. This all adds up to a camera that can shoot 46 megapixels at up to 7 frames per second, and 9 FPS with the right accessories, all while using Nikon's industry-leading 3D tracking for subject recognition. In addition, 4K video can be captured with no sensor crop. A high-res 3.2-inch tilting touchscreen adorns the back and can be used for a range of shooting and menu controls. The D850's impressive new viewfinder offers 0.75 times magnification. This comes at the cost of a built-in flash, but Nikon says this change allows improved weather sealing. The body has been slightly redesigned with a deeper grip, making it more comfortable to hold than its predecessor. The buttons on the back are also now illuminated. Other new features include a silent E-shutter mode in live view, a range of time-lapse options, and a new focus shift mode. This automatically takes shots at a series of different focus depths to be stacked later. The D850 has dual card slots, one for XQD and one for UHS-2 compatible SD. It also has Nikon's Bluetooth-based SnapBridge wireless system. In all, we think it's one of the most comprehensively capable DSLRs we've seen in recent memory, offering speed, resolution, and uncropped 4K video. Nikon D850